subsidies based on rakyat interest. ASEAN Islamic finance leaders should collaborate for brighter prospects. Assalamualaikum, salam Malaysia Madani, and you're watching Malaysia Tonight. I'm SAHIH. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Fadilah Yusof expressed hope that there would be no speculation surrounding the mid-air collision and crash involving two helicopters at the Royal Malaysian Navy TLDM base in Lumut today. Datuk Seri Fadilah, who is also Energy Transition and Water Transformation Minister, urged all parties to show respect to the families of the victims by refraining from sharing any sensitive videos or images to safeguard the sensitivities of those affected by the incident.
Pada masa ini saya mengharapkan tiada orang yang akan membuat spekulasi apa-apa kejadian atas kejadian ini dan juga menghormati para waris mangsa supaya tidak memaparkan apa-apa yang sensitif lah yang boleh menyebabkan sensitiviti pada mangsa, dan saya mengharapkan pihak media juga janganlah membuat spekulasi apa-apa tentang kejadian ini. Okey.
He spoke to newsmen after visiting the families of the victims and the site of the incident today. Earlier, TLDM confirmed the loss of 10 of its personnel in the incident, which happened at 9:32 a.m. involving 7 crew members of the Maritime Operations Helicopter HOM AW139 and 3 crew members of the TLDM Fennec. It is understood that the incident took place during flypast training in conjunction with TLDM's 90th anniversary. The anniversary celebration scheduled on Saturday, meanwhile, has been cancelled and will be replaced with prayers and a tahlil ceremony instead. On a related note, Defence Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Khalid Nordin said the two helicopters which collided and crashed at the Royal Malaysian Navy TLDM base were undergoing a rehearsal for the third time. According to him, an investigation board will be established to identify the cause of the incident involving the two helicopters.
Pihak kementerian telah bersetuju supaya ditubuhkan lembaga siasatan oleh pihak TLDM bagi kita mengenal pasti punca kejadian, dan saya berharap supaya masyarakat dan orang ramai tidak menularkan video kejadian yang berlaku demi menjaga sensitiviti dan menghormati keluarga mangsa, dan pada masa yang sama untuk tidak mengganggu proses penyiasatan.
Now, the government's moves to implement targeted subsidies and review the civil service salary scheme are based on the principle of prioritizing the interests of the rakyat and the nation. Communications Minister Fahmi Fadil said these steps are also aimed at ensuring better fiscal positions and reducing the financial burden on the country.
Bahawa sebarang keputusan oleh pihak kerajaan, it will not be worse than what it is right now. Saya sebut dua perkara yang kerajaan sedang buat yang menongkah arus, lawan arus. Pertama adalah berkenaan dengan subsidi. Kita dapat tahu subsidi yang diberikan selama ini adalah secara tukar. Ada keperluan untuk kita teliti. I'll be honest, banyak daripada perbincangan tentang penyasaran semula subsidi, tentang gaji, a lot of it should have happened 10 years ago. Banyak daripada keputusan ini sewajarnya perlu dibuat bukan sekarang. Dan ada wakil Kementerian Kewangan kan? And you would agree with me?
In addition, he said the government is now actively looking into the need for a new civil service salary scheme because the review should have been done 10 years ago. On 19 April, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, through a Facebook post, said the government would announce proposals for improvements, including efforts to increase the net income rate of civil servants at the upcoming Labour Day. All agencies and departments under the Digital Ministry are reminded to continue to focus and provide cooperation to enable the country's digital transformation efforts run smoothly. Digital Minister Gobind Singh Dio said since heading the ministry 5 months ago, some plans have been successful, but there is still a lot of work that needs to be done so that the ministry's objectives are achieved.
Oleh kerana kita kementerian yang baru, memang banyak yang kita perlu laksanakan. Kita dalam proses dan saya kerap kali mengingatkan semua bahawa memang banyak kerja yang kita perlu laksanakan menuju ke depan, dan saya harap bahawa kita dapat melihat kerjasama yang mengukuh untuk kita merealisasikan objektif kita.
In December last year, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim was reported to have said that the Digital Ministry was formed to lead digital transformation efforts so that the country does not fall behind and can compete quickly. Among the agencies and departments under the Digital Ministry are the National Digital Department, MyNIC Berhad, MyNIC, the Personal Data Protection Department and Cyber Security Malaysia. System installation works on the East Coast Rail Line or ECRL involving the construction of electrification, signalling and telecommunication systems for the operation of passenger and cargo trains are expected to begin in May. Malaysia Rail Ring's Sdn Chief Executive Officer Datuk Seri Darwis Abdul Razak said this is because the track installation works from Gebeng, Pahang to Dungun, Terengganu along 92 kilometres have been fully completed. Elaborating further on the matter, Datuk Seri Darwis said the work on the system will start in May to enable the installation of the track from Dungun to Kota Baru, Kelantan to be implemented by the end of December this year. In total, the ECRL project has recorded progress of 64.01% as of March 2024 for the entire length that includes 4 states, namely Kelantan, Terengganu, Pahang and Selangor. Prior to this, Transport Minister Anthony Loke Siu Fook had expressed confidence that the ECRL project would be completed according to schedule in December 2026 and be operational from January 2027. The 665-kilometre-long ECRL project involving 20 stations and 40 tunnels has entered a new phase of construction since 2023, including infrastructure works such as the installation of flyover beams, track installation, station construction and railway depot construction. Coming up next, My Startup launched today for Seamless Business Environment Foundation. Leading countries in the Islamic finance space within the ASEAN region, such as Malaysia and Indonesia, should collaborate in the banking and takaful sectors as the prospects of both Islamic finance and financial technology fintech in the region are seen to be brighter. Bank Negara Malaysia BNM Deputy Governor Adnan Zailani said, while maintaining different jurisdiction and frameworks, he viewed that there is always scope for harmonization and standardization within the financial services sector to achieve greater fluidity.
While we can maintain different jurisdictions, different regulatory frameworks, but there's always a degree of harmonization and standardization that if we are able to achieve that, then it would be more fluid. Financial services across countries, acceptance, Sharia acceptance, product acceptance across different countries would be more fluid. And to achieve this at a global level of acceptance could be challenging, but we could start in ASEAN first.
He said this during the panel session titled SEAS, Next Big FinTech Export, Islamic Finance at the KL20 Summit 2024 today. In this regard, Adnan noted that the Malaysian government would likely put forward ways to strengthen its financial offerings, including Islamic FinTech, as one of the agendas during the ASEAN Chairmanship next year. Elaborating further, he said Malaysia has an overall framework in which existing banks could collaborate in Islamic FinTech, as the segment has a lot of opportunities to complement the financial sector. CGS International Securities Malaysia CGSMY has unveiled its new brand and proposition targeting to hit over 300 million ringgit revenue by the year 2027. Deputy Chief Executive Officer Alan N. Wei Loon said the integrated financial services provider has made about 250 million ringgit revenue in 2023.
So our target CAGR, compounded annual growth rate, is in the order of about 15 to 20% for the next 3 to 5 years. So we're currently doing about 250 million ringgit in revenue.
CGS My today unveiled its new brand and proposition for the company following the acquisition of 100% stake in CGS CIMB Securities Malaysia by China Galaxy Securities CGS on 29 December 2023. The acquisition is expected to enhance CGS International Securities Pte Limited CGS International networks in China and ASEAN, specifically in Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore and Thailand, as well as providing CGS My with greater connections with regional clients and investments opportunities. Alan In said CGS My is the second largest contributor in terms of revenue to the CGS International Group in the region and also number one in terms of market ranking on Bursa Malaysia. Meanwhile, Chief Executive Officer Azizah Muhammad Yatim said, following the rebranding, CGS My also has plans in the pipeline to grow its private equity and venture capital business. CGS My has over 15 million customers globally. Malaysia's single window for the startup ecosystem, My Startup, a game-changing one-stop online platform for startups, was today been launched at KL20 Summit 2024 in the nation's capital today. Science, Technology and Innovation Minister Mosti Chang Lih Kang, in his keynote address at the launch of My Startup, said the platform was developed as the foundation for a seamless business environment for all things related to startups in Malaysia. He said it boasts a wide range of features and services for startups to access resources, mentorship, funding and regulatory support, thereby empowering the next generation of entrepreneurs to thrive and succeed.
Offering comprehensive data, insights and resources on starting and scaling a business, navigating funding options and assessing essential support services within Malaysia's startup ecosystem. A total of 14 government agencies involved in the development of the startup ecosystem have come together to provide this seamless journey for founders, investors and tech talents alike.
Chang added that even more impressive, My Startup, powered by Cradle Funds, comes equipped with artificial intelligence, which is able to answer queries and provide insights about starting a business in Malaysia directly to its users. Established in 2021 to nurture the national startup ecosystem through capacity building programs including hackathons, accelerators, pre-accelerators and boot camps, the platform connects startups, investors and tech talents through its portal. It is part of the government's initiatives to make Malaysia a top 20 global startup ecosystem by the year 2030 through efforts of creating a seamless business environment and nurturing 5,000 new startups by 2025 as outlined in the Super Roadmap. The ringgit is poised to strengthen this year, driven by a significant event which could bolster the local currency. Saktiandi Supaat, Head of Foreign Exchange Research and Strategy, Global Markets at Maybank Singapore, said that with the US Federal Reserve, FED, likely to be embarking on an easing cycle soon, the rates landscape should be more favourable for the ringgit in light of the fact that Bank Negara Malaysia BNM is expected to stand pat for the whole of 2024. He said the economist has highlighted that 2024 could be a year of takeoff for the Malaysian economy with the blueprints, master plans such as the Madani Economy Framework, National Energy Transition Roadmap and New Industrial Master Plan 2030 likely to be implemented and the fiscal reforms and economic restructuring widely watched. He said this year could be a better year for the ringgit as long as the external environment stays benign for the currency. Satyandi also said the ringgit remains very undervalued, as has been so since the oil crash. He said the greenback has appeal as a safe haven currency as the US continues to show strong macro data. He said the ringgit may flip if the FED cuts rates and yields start falling as rates differentials could be a significant driver for the ringgit versus greenback. Halal Development Corporation Berhad HDC will be hosting the Halal Economy Leadership Forum 2024 held to extend its global footprint, build upon the outstanding achievement, the World Halal Business Conference Circuit in London last year. Team Navigating Future Opportunities, Embracing Innovation. This inaugural forum will be held in conjunction with the Islamic Development Bank ISDB Private Sector Forum 2024 in Riyadh on 30th April this year. The forum is also jointly hosted by the ISDB and Saudi Arabia's Halal Products Development Company, HPDC, to together make a significant contribution to the development of the halal industries in both Malaysia and Saudi Arabia, as well as across the Organisation of Islamic Cooperation countries.
HDC and ISDB with HPDC coming together at this these initiatives that actually stimulates more discussion and leadership involvement to continue chart the future of halal economy. So if we don't start today, if we don't make the right move, the narration, the discussion, and the directives of halal economy will be very fragmented. Meaning every country that offers opportunities in the halal economy will be doing it on their own.
HDC Chairman Khairul Azwan Harun also noted that Health 2024 in Riyadh marks Malaysia's inaugural endeavour to pursue collective economic advantages for the Ummah in the years preceding the annual health event. He said the initiative aims to foster mutual benefits among ISDB member countries, non-member countries and observer countries. Meanwhile, ISDB Kuala Lumpur Centre of Excellence head Samir El-Sawi said the event could bring together all the member countries together and support one another at the different levels of the halal ecosystem. Up next in our foreign segment, 9 wounded in Russian drone strike on Odessa. A delegation of United States representatives visited Kiev on Monday to tout support for Ukraine following the passage of a $95 billion legislative package providing security assistance to Ukraine, Israel and Taiwan. Both Republican and Democrat representatives spoke to the media and paid their respect at the Memory Wall of fallen defenders of Ukraine after meeting President Volodymyr Zelensky. The legislation now proceeds to the Democratic Majority Senate, which passed a similar measure more than 2 months ago. U.S. leaders from Democratic President Joe Biden to top Senate Republican Mitch McConnell had been urging embattled Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson to bring up it for a vote. The Senate is set to begin considering the House-passed bill on Tuesday, with some preliminary votes that afternoon. Final passage was expected sometime next week, which would clear the way for Biden to sign it into law. The bills provide $60.84 billion to address the conflict in Ukraine, including $23 billion to replenish U.S. weapons, stocks and facilities, $26 billion for Israel, including $9.1 billion for humanitarian needs, and $8.12 billion for the Indo-Pacific, including Taiwan. Russia launched a drone attack on Ukraine that injured 9 people in the Black Sea port of Odessa, 4 of them children, and also targeted Kiev, the capital. Ukraine's military officials said on Tuesday that the injured children, which include 2 infants, have been hospitalized, as well as 3 of the injured adults. State Emergency Services of Ukraine and Defense Forces of Southern Ukraine released videos showing rescuers working on site, helping residents in damaged residential area. Odessa Governor Oleg Kipir said several residential buildings in the city were damaged and caught fire. The city administration also added that at least 14 apartments were damaged. Ukraine's Air Force said Russia launched a total of 16 attacks drone targeting Ukraine and 2 short-range Iskander ballistic missiles. The Ukrainian Air Force explained that the air defense system destroyed 15 other drones over Ukraine's southern regions of Odessa and Mykolaiv, the central region of Cherkasy and the capital region of Kiev. It, however, did not say what happened to the missiles. The Pakistani government declared a public holiday in Karachi on Tuesday as major highways in the southern port city were blocked as part of security measures ahead of Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi's visit. Raisi commenced his 3-day visit to Pakistan amid tight security in the Pakistani capital of Islamabad on Monday. The visit comes as the two Muslim neighbours seek to mend ties after unprecedented tit-for-tat military strikes this year. While Raisi's visit is a key step towards normalising ties with Islamabad, Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, not the president, has the last say on state matters such as nuclear policy. Tensions have also been high in the Middle East after Iran launched an unprecedented attack on Israel a week ago, and central Iran in turn suffered what sources say was an Israel attack on Friday. Pakistan has previously called for de-escalation from all parties. An Australian court has ordered the social media X, formerly Twitter, to hide some posts commenting on the stabbing of a bishop in Sydney. The incident deepened a war of words between the platform's owner Elon Musk and Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese.
Well, this guy is showing his arrogance. He's a billionaire over there in the United States who thinks he's above Australian law. And he's fighting for the right to show violent videos on his platform, something that can cause damage to young people, we know, and a great deal of distress, something that will add to social division. The E-Safety Commissioner has made a ruling. The other social media platforms all complied without complaint. This is a measure that has a bipartisan support in this country. Australians are united. This isn't about censorship, it's about common sense and common decency, and Elon Musk should show some.
Australia's federal court late on Monday granted the country's cyber regulator, the E-Safety Commissioner, a 2-day injunction requiring the social media platform to hide some posts on a knife attack last week against an Assyrian church bishop, Mar Mari Emmanuel, during a service at his church. X has blocked the content for its users in Australia but said it would not block the posts for users outside the country, arguing that the government had no authority to dictate content its users can see globally. Argentine President Javier Milei boasted on Monday that his government is successfully taming profligate public spending, touting a rare first quarter surplus that he argues is key to improving economic prospects in the Latin American nation. Milei took office in December, pledging to enact an economic shock plan in a bid to lower triple-digit inflation and reverse a prolonged economic slump marked by the steady deterioration on the peso currency and growing poverty. Milei announced that his government had lodged a financial fiscal surplus of more than 275 billion pesos, equivalent to $315.4 million in March. For the first quarter, the surplus, the first of its kind since 2008, represented 0.2% of the nation's gross domestic product GDP.
La inflación de fondo tiene nombre, eso se llama inflación núcleo, que estamos relevando nosotros, viene en descenso muy fuerte. Lo que pasa es que, claro, sobre esa inflación que se está desacelerando fuertemente, ahora vienen las subas de las tarifas. Y eso es lo que hace que no se caiga lo fuerte que se podría caer. Pero bueno, eso es parte de desarmar todos los desastres que hemos estado armando ya desde hace muchísimos años en la Argentina, ¿no?
Still to come in sport, El Classico could be replayed following goal scandal. Inter Milan sealed the Serie A title after beating AC Milan 2-1, creating an unassailable lead at the top of the league with their 6th straight derby victory. Goals from Francesco Acerbi and Marcus Thuram gave Inter a 17-point advantage over closest challengers Milan and secured their 20th league crown with 5 matches of the season remaining. Inter last won Serie A in 2021, followed by AC Milan in 2022 and Napoli last year. For Simone Inzaghi, it was the first league title as a manager, and on a cold-soaking wet evening at the San Siro, he strode proudly in front of a clutch of Inter's away fans in the 75,000 crowd. Milan made a fight of it in the final moments after Fikayo Tomori pulled one back with 10 minutes remaining, but Inter held out to kick off a title party after a stormy ending to the match, which featured 3 red cards. Inter have become the second team to win 20 Italian league titles and will have a second star stitched onto their jersey after Juventus, who are away, out in the lead with 36 league crowns. Barcelona will demand a Classico replay if they can prove officials made a mistake by not allowing Lamine Yamal's goal. The champions fell to a 3-2 defeat against Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu on Sunday in a match which featured multiple controversial incidents, leaving their arch-rivals 11 points clear at the top of La Liga. The most debated was 16-year-old winger Yamal's first half flick from a corner which may have crossed the line before Madrid goalkeeper Andre Lunin pushed it away. Without goal line technology in Spain, officials used VAR to try and confirm if the ball had crossed the line, but could not be certain it had, and so play continued with the score level at 1-1. Laporta demanded the Spanish Football Federation and the refereeing committee send Barcelona all footage of the incident and audio recordings of the officials' conversations. Referring to a match between Anderlecht and Genk in January in the Belgian top flight, which was initially scheduled to be replayed because of misapplication of the laws of the game, but in the end it was ruled that Anderlecht's 2-1 win would stand. Barcelona had 2 penalty appeals turned down during the Classico defeat for what they said were fouls on Yamal and Fermin Lopez. The French Olympic Committee started a 5-day tour of the facilities in the regions of Avenir-Rhône-Alpes and Provence-Alpes-Côte d'Azur on Monday as it presents its bid to host the 2030 Winter Olympic Games. The IOC Commission began its visit in La Clusaz and the northern French Alps, where France wants to hold the cross-country skiing events. The chair of the Future Host Commission for the Olympic Winter Games, Karl Storz, said he had a very, very good feeling, but that they have not crossed the finish line yet.
But we are not crossed the finish line yet. We had to ask some questions to the presidents, we had to ask some questions to the Olympic Committee, we have to ask some questions also to the community. What's going on and what's happened? And this is a very important step, I think. The next step will be that we will write a report after this visit. And with this report, we will go in a dialogue with international winter sport federations and then a final report for the IOC Executive Board.
President of the Avenir-Rhône-Alpes region, Laurent Basquis, said 95% of France's project is based on existing infrastructures, part of which will come from Albertville 92. France has also staged the Winter Games in 1924 in Chamonix and in 1968 in Grenoble. That's it for Malaysia Tonight. This time around, in our top story, government moves to implement targeted subsidies based on rakyat interest. I'm SAHIH Samsudin. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Thanks for watching. RTM, teman setia anda.